That's rock and roll right there. It's a song called I Knew Them Well. And that's Say Zuzu off their live album. And I thought that was appropriate to go into this segment. Time right now is 7 minutes past the hour, 3 o'clock. You are listening to WSCA LP Portsmouth Community Radio. My name's Shawn Henderson. The name of the show is Stay Tuned. And I promised you earlier that Say Zuzu, easy for me to say, would join me live on the air and live in the studio. And I didn't lie. More importantly, they didn't lie.
That's right.
They are here. And Say Zuzu has agreed to sort of reunite. They split up
sort
amongst...
Sort of.
Just sort of reunite. Sorry.
Kind of.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was... I mean, reuniting means that you're going to like, okay, this is it. We're going to hit it again. We're really going to do it this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As
It
opposed
is a reunion show. I mean, like a school reunion doesn't mean you're going back to high school. You know?
Exactly. All right. So it is a reunion show. You're back in. In form. Hopefully, I had said on my Facebook page that it's been 10 years, but you mentioned Chris earlier,
yeah,
and he was quick to correct me and say that it's been 5 years. So I guess you guys got together 5 years ago. So every 5 years or so, you're.
And it's a blue moon. So as Dave Talmadge pointed out, it's once in a blue moon apparently.
Right. Wow. Dave, he's quick. I like
what
that
he did
about
there?
that.
Yeah. This is actually what we think of this as like a Say Zuzu Alumni Association gathering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dry humor, not so good on the radio.
We are doing the TV thing as well, and it probably wouldn't work on the TV.
Yeah, no.
Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me.
Of course.
Thanks for coming in, and thanks for supporting the 3SR space down there. I think it's a great cause for you guys to get together.
Absolutely.
And thanks for supporting WSCA as well. So I think we'll do is we'll start with something live, and then we can come back and chat about exactly why you decided to reunite and do all this good stuff. We'll see.
We're for that. Let's do that.
Is it Pennsylvania?
Sure, hit it.
Driving down to Pennsylvania is a favor to a friend of mine. Seems like a lonely proposition, but I got time. I spotted traveling fair off the highway ramp, tucked in the woods on spinning lights. It sure smells good. It sure smells like joy to me. Oh yeah. Oh, feels like joy. Put a coin and a bill on the countertop. Yeah, but the waitress has gone home. There's a late shift changing and my coffee stops. That's okay, 'cause it's a little late to be moving on. And I curl my jacket up underneath my head, get to dreaming just as soon as my head rests. Sure feels good flash my lights at a truck that's coming on by. And it pulled into my own lane and flexed his own reply. So don't get rid as the setting sun till you get down by the Mississippi way. I'm gone to Pennsylvania, baby. And it feels like joy to me. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it feels like joy. Feels like joy. Feels like joy to me.
Brilliant. Say Zuzu live in the WSCA studios. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, guys.
Of course.
That song you can hear off their album Bull came out in 1998.
That's right.
Just a few years before the band decided to call it quits for the time being. That was the album next sort of.
A few years before their untimely death.
Yeah.
Well, these guys are performing tonight down at the 3S Art Space right here in Portsmouth. That's located on Bond Street. It's the last of the Loading Dock series, and they're performing with the Mallet Brothers, another fantastic band. Those guys are great. So let's, before we talk about your untimely death back years ago, let's talk about the surprise reunion, I suppose. It was a surprise to me. I was glad to see that you guys were getting together to support the 3S space. Tell me why, and then tell me how, and then tell me why.
Well, Chris Greiner, one of the co-founders with another fellow by the name of John Gale, of co-founders of the 3S Art Space, reached out and said, "Hey, would Say Zuzu be interested in doing this?" And I said, "I think so. Let me find out from the guys." I think we broke up, but we pretty much had the most boring breakup in all of rock and roll history. You know, it wasn't like, well, Cliff does have a terrible drug problem. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was nothing like that. It wasn't creative differences or anything. It was like we'd been together for a long time. We kind of gave it a whirl, and different time for wives, houses, kids, that kind of stuff. And so we just called it a day. But so yeah, we weren't opposed to playing. We just weren't actively.
I wasn't
Right.
opposed. Actually, there's like I got a huge
There's a new
extra paycheck.
Yeah.
Good for you. Hold out, brother. That's what I always say.
Huge.
We're actually paying him in Isamax oatmeal cream pies, which they don't have
I
in
would take
Baltimore,
it. Yeah.
but Cliff used to
See.
get them by the handful at Morelli's in Newmarket.
He's
So
I could tell he's the business major of the group.
that's right. That's right. So it's as simple as Chris called us up, and I got in touch with the fellas, and we were like, yes, let's do it.
All right.
So we're psyched to do it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be fun. And has it been 5 years? Was that the last time you guys got together to actually perform together?
No, we played Green Bay after that, right? There was a fellow.
Yeah, I can't really remember.
2009. There was a fellow who used to book us when we would tour out in the Midwest, and he was at that time just a youngin', and there was no music in Neenah, Wisconsin, where he was from. Neenah's claim to fame is they make 80% of the world's manhole covers. So if you look, they'll say Neenah.
Seriously, like you'll see Nina,
Yeah,
and
you'll say-
then once you see it once, you can say, "Oh."
Right. Anyway, so when he would keep an eye on the bands that came to Chicago, and then try and get them to drive north a few hours and play his little place. And after we broke up, of course, he became the talent buyer for a casino, and so he funded his own personal Say Zuzu reunion. We each got our own. It was great.
Yeah, we actually had to wear like gold capes,
Yeah,
and that sort of thing.
that's right.
It was like a
Dancing
big
girls.
casino show.
Yeah. No, that's what we did. We flew out to Green Bay and we played 3 nights at the Oneida Casino.
And you decided then, okay, this is enough. The gold capes are okay, or just
No, I mean, we love playing together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. It's just I think there's a whole lot of other life stuff getting in the way most of the time.
Like
right?
your drug problem?
Yeah, like the fact that
No, just kidding.
terrible jokes.
Joke.
I live how many 100 miles from here?
Yeah, 8-hour drive away.
Yeah, 8-hour drive away. So
Baltimore.
it just doesn't make it easy on
Yeah,
anyone.
that is tough. That makes it hard to keep the band together.
You know, I mean, I constantly invite the band to come down to rehearse. And
I mean, Tim McCoy, who's on bass with us, who didn't appear on any of the Say Zuzu records, but is as close to a Zuzu member as we've ever had.
Right.
My brother, who played bass, lives in D.C., and our last bass player lives in Utah, and I don't think he's picked up the bass. So Tim's been playing with us on those gigs, but he's got a couple.
Last reunion shows, it's been a blast.
That's right. He's got a couple kids.
Yeah.
Cliff has 3 kids, newborn son. Tim has a lovely wife and a house that they're constantly fixing up. Tim, unfortunately, has construction skills, so that works in his favor.
That'll keep the roof over your head.
I've got 3 kids, so it's a busy life. That's pretty much what.
That's pretty much it. Well, that's good.
You know,
Well,
you were playing something from our live record, and
Right.
there was a period where when we were trying to think of what to name that album, it was going to be Say Zuzu Lives. So this is sort of, I guess, us.
you lives again.
Say Zuzu Lives. But we thought people would think it was a typo.
Right.
And so then that is the lamest album.
mean like
title
our band name?
ever. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we can talk
Zuzu
about the
Lives.
band name too.
Cliff's got that one.
Yep.
I'll
Well-
let you tell him. the
Excuse
story.
me?
The
The
band.
band name?
Well,
Oh,
let's.
get to that.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we do it? We'll do another live thing. We'll come back and we'll
maybe
talk
we'll
about.
forget that question
Yeah.
when we come back.
I'm sure it's one you get it quite a bit.
I'm just kidding around. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
What are we going to play?
Your call, Mr. Murphy.
All right, let's do You Don't Know Me.
All right, let's do it.
This is from our Every Mile album.
You don't know me.
Ready?
2, 3.
If I came away unscathed, would I open up my heart just to watch you stamp it out again? Or will I feel the way I do when oh so many secrets held in for so long finally are revealed? You don't know me now, and you don't know me any. Well, I could see you falling for me, then you ran. Will I stand alone again, twisting in the wind like a weed alone below some cold dark river? Or am I beaten down too hard to open up again? And will I die lonely, old and bitter man? But you don't know me now, you don't know me any. I could see you falling for me, then you ran. Well, you don't know me now, and you don't know me any. Well, I could see you falling for me, then you ran. Ooh.
Very nice. You don't know me.
Yeah.
Again, Say Zuzu, live in the WSCA
Lives.
studios.
Say Zuzu lives.
They lives right here on WSCA. They'll be living down at the 3S Art Space tonight. I encourage you to get on down there. They will be live along with the Mallard Brothers.
6 to 9.
6 to 9. Oh, it's 6 to 9 tonight, because it's usually 6 to 8, right? So,
Yeah, that's what they told me. 6 to 9. Could
Oh,
6
yeah?
to 8.
okay.
We'll
well,
call it 6 to 9.
we'll call it 6 to 9. It's going to
Yes.
be it's going to be a party. You're going to extend it. It's a good extending party down there. It's a great thing they're doing down there at the 3S Art Space. I encourage you to go to their website, 3sarts.org, and check them out.
I would like to chime in and say, absolutely, follow Shawn's suggestion.
Yeah.
3S is a pretty amazing thing they're trying to do right now, and a lot of people talk about doing a lot of big ideas, and this group of people, they got a board of directors, a bunch of supporters, a bunch of consultants, and it's a pretty big idea that they're following through on. It's a
Yeah, well,
farm-to-table
I'd say
restaurant,
it is
music
it's a
space.
huge idea.
It is.
And it's a huge undertaking.
Absolutely.
And so far, you just take it step by step, and
That's right.
they're going along. I did the tour at the beginning of the summer, went in and saw, the space. I'm not sure how far along they are now, but the space inside where they're going to have, indoor concerts and the restaurant and stuff that you talked
Art
about.
gallery.
And the art gallery, it's fantastic. Of course, they have the upstairs too. They have people that rent art studio spaces. They have photographers, and I guess the whole top floor, it's all rented out. So they're doing that. So it's very, very. People in the community are very supportive of this, and then really, it is the art. If a community doesn't have art, it doesn't have heart, in my opinion. It really is. It's the lifeblood of any community, and the people over at the 3S Art Space are sort of keeping Portsmouth alive, in my opinion. So that's just our take on it. Go and check it out. Go check out the venue tonight, and go and check out Say Zuzu, the Mallard Brothers. They are reuniting for a good cause, and we appreciate that. And they, again, the 3S Art Space is a nonprofit organization, just like WSCA here. And I'm telling everyone that Say Zuzu got together to just to come on this show.
We did.
And then you were just going to go over and help those guys out too.
Yeah.
But,
We were previously tuned, and now we're just trying to stay tuned.
right on.
Thank you.
But-
Right. Man.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what you can expect tonight, folks, right there.
That's the good stuff. Yeah, that's the good
Same
stuff.
bad jokes as it used to
It
be.
is.
right on.
In getting ready for this show, I sort of went on this personal odyssey where I listened to all of our recordings from,
really?
like high school until the breakup of the band. I listened to demos and other crazy stuff, and some live bootlegs. There's definitely an arc where for many years we talked a lot and we told a lot of really bad jokes, and we thought we were really funny. And so anyone listening, I just want to apologize for all of that. And it really was only until the
That's
last.
mostly to Steve.
Yeah, I mean,
Poor Steve Room,
Poor,
yeah.
Tim's predecessor, Steve Room. I mean, he would get so upset with us, and he'd just be like, you guys are stupid. These are dumb jokes. Please stop. We'd be a better band. People would like us better. And he was right. And it really was
And
only
he was
after
right.
he left and Tim took over on drums that we kind of tightened things up a bit, and we talked a lot less and played more songs, and I think we got a whole lot
And
better.
that's what pushed us over the top.
Right, that's how we got famous. Yeah.
It was just a little too little, little too late.
Right.
That's what happened.
Yeah, we
So
were like
the
the opposite.
decline already started to happen, and
Right.
then
Like
yeah.
Steve Martin started out as a musician, right, and his jokes got longer, and the banjo stuff got shorter, and we were the opposite, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. All
thanks.
jokes aside, though, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome to get together and play the tunes. Absolutely. There's a last night we rehearsed. It was a bit of a rough start. Forgot some lyrics. It did eventually. By the time we finished it, it was coming back. But the thing that's immediately there is this like the hanging around, the stupid
Right.
jokes.
You never forget the words to your stupid jokes.
No, I always remember those, or I create new ones. But yeah, and I know there are a lot of friends and longtime local music supporters who've reached out and expressed excitement about this show tonight.
I think it's a very highly anticipated show. I
Yeah.
think you can expect some.
We're
some
looking forward to-
enthusiastic response
to
for sure.
being with the local music fans,
Right on, good.
and especially for Tim and I, Tim McCoy and I, who are still in the area, that awesome "In Danger of Being Discovered" documentary they're making about the '90s scene and being a part of that, and it kind of feels like a connection, thematically.
It's a huge connection. I mean, Zuzu was as someone that's come on board later on, and I used to go to see the shows and listen to all those bad jokes and all that kind of thing. I've always been a fan of the songs. First of all, I mean, the records are great, the songs are great. Zuzu was a huge part of that whole fabric of what we did the last 20 years around.
Right, absolutely.
And for two people, just one last thing. I know you probably want us to shush, but Tim McCoy, for those who don't know, was in Heavens to Murgatroyd and Lemon Fresh Kids and Weed Incorporated, and of course Tim McCoy in the Paper Cuts.
The new this is the Paper Cuts is your current.
Yeah, it's my current thing.
Okay.
It's not as good as Say Zuzu, but
very few bands are, in my opinion.
Well,
but,
good probably just isn't a word you want to use in describing it at all.
Every day is a roast in the Zuzu camp. It is.
we roast because we love.
Right, as good really is giving it too much credit.
Well, I will actually open the CD that you gave me, Tim, and I'll be the judge of that.
It's actually a really good record.
Yeah, and you produced that, John,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And I've heard some of the other things that you've done recently. You have a great recording studio over in Newmarket, and it's absolutely fantastic. You do some great work. Oh, it's in Rollinsford now?
I'm in the Salmon Falls Mills for a couple of years now.
Oh, has it really? Yeah. Good for you. I didn't know that. I didn't know you moved over there.
I did.
The Mills is that's a pretty cool thing over there too.
Another pretty amazing spot. Lots of artists, lots of great things happening over there.
And they had the Elysium Arts Folk Club over there, and then just kind of unfortunately he's changing vision here, but that was a cool thing.
Some great shows there, though.
Yeah, they did, for sure.
Yeah,
good for you.
As someone who's just kind of moved out of town for a long time at this point to come back, it's been really nice to be here and to see. I don't know. I mean, I've only been in town for less than 24 hours and already ran into just a bunch of people from the local music scene that I hadn't seen forever, who really kind of brought us along, encouraged us.
Right.
We saw Bob Halperin out in the parking lot, Jim Tierney. Kurt Bissett we saw wandering around a parking lot. He didn't see us, but we were like, hey, it's Kurt Bissett. And we saw Jeff Landrock over in Rollinsford, and it's just like nice to be reminded of just how great it was to come up here and as a kid and learn to play and learn about great music from other people.
What are you doing now in Maryland?
Have you seen The Wire?
I actually have The Wire over here, which I have in my hand, which I neglected to read.
Show,
It will tell
So
me.
I live in Baltimore. I work as the
Arts Council.
Yeah, I work for the State Arts Council. I
nice. Good for
do work as a folklorist, working with traditional artists. So
Right on.
good stuff.
I had a chance to go down and visit. It's pretty awesome.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, good for you. Well, good. Well, I'm glad that you made the trip back.
Yeah.
And James couldn't make it, or
No.
didn't want to make it, or
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. You just said nah.
We fired him.
Yeah.
We paid him not to come.
As a brother, too.
Yeah. Now, sort of, since we played Wisconsin and it was second era Zuzu, Tim has sort of taken that
Yeah.
mantle.
Okay. So
And James is actually in Costa Rica right now.
is he?
That's
Wow.
right. What's he doing? He's going on vacation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Vacation
So
in
he
Costa
wins.
Rica. Yeah, I guess he does.
Yeah.
Well, we're all going to win tonight over at the 3S
That's
Art
right.
Space for sure. Say Zuzu will be over there. They have Reunited just for you and just for this night. I encourage you to get on down there and see. It's going to be a blast. Have you guys played with the Mallet Brothers before?
No.
They're fantastic.
They are
They're
fantastic.
just,
I've heard them, and I know Wally. I know one of the guys in the band, and all my Portland friends.
So
are
this
like,
is going to be a blast at the Loading Dock Series.
I just want to say right now, we're going to blow them off the stage. We are so tight. It's like we never left.
As John said, they practiced last night.
That's right. Yeah, I was just I was just explaining to somebody recently that actually one of my favorite things to do, like say if we're about to play pool, and I know the other guy's really good, I actually like to talk as much smack as possible and get him all angry, because that's the only victory I have is getting him angry before it becomes completely revealed that I stink at pool. And then they're like, "What? You got me all worked up." And I know that's my consolation.
So we'll wind up the Mallet Brothers. You guys are in for it out there.
Not that that's what I'm doing with the Mallet Brothers, who are in for it. No, I'm just kidding.
You're trying to wind them up. You're trying to get them upset.
No,
I get it.
That's a joke, just in case that didn't translate. Not that it was funny.
Nothing
That's all I got.
translate on the radio.
It's all coming back.
Time right now is about 32 minutes past the hour at 3 o'clock. We're live in the studio with Say Zuzu. And let's do another live thing, and we can come back and muddle our way through some more conversation. How's that?
Muddle?
I'm muddling. I feel like I'm muddling. That's what I do every week, though.
Wake up all you dreamers, open all your windows, hang up all your streamers on the 4th of July. Come out all you cowards, step outside and shower your praise on the heroes as they march by in the parade. Do you remember how we'd sit way back in 1976? The future seemed so bright in the bicentennial. Though I was only 4 years old, I can remember how you'd hold me on your shoulders to watch the men walk by. It's Independence Day, parade's on by again. Stand up, all you old men, shake the dust out of your limbs. Memories of better men died at your side. Still you serve and protect, you hide the dark truths in your chest, so we all still believe it was neat and clean. Do you remember how we'd sit way back in 1976? The future seemed so bright in the bicentennial. Though I was only 4 years old, I can remember how you'd hold me on your shoulders to watch the men walk by. It's Independence Day, parade's on by again. There's a beauty in the silence, comes just before the storm blows up and showers all the people on the road. And those who see it coming, into their houses they run, as the parade splits and old men duck their heads. Do you remember how we'd sit way back in 1976? The future seemed so bright in the bicentennial. Though I was only 4 years old, I can remember how you'd hold me on your shoulders to watch the men walk by. It's Independence Day, parade's on by again.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Song called Independence Day. Say Zuzu live in the WSTA studios. Again, that song can be heard off their Every Mile CD. Some of these CDs are they're collector's items now. We'll call them collector's items. Cliff, you were talking about, you went through some of your old stuff. I had this Tribal Moan CD sitting in my pile.
Oh, man, that's definitely one of the roughest stretches right there.
And everyone in the band said the exact same thing. They were like, "Oh," they had this collective groan. So tell me about it.
Well, I should let me spin this the season. I'll just put it this way. Years ago, the year after I graduated high school, we, under the tutelage and care of Jim Tierney and Jerry Tillett, who assisted, recorded a tape. That dates us anytime at the Bunkhouse studio. Rest in peace. And
which is right near here, right?
That's right, right near here, right near actually where the 3S art space was trying to go. Aha, full circle. So we did a tape, and it was like we did it in like 5 minutes for like $3, and we just kind of whipped it off. And then we spent a lot of money on Tribal Moans and a lot of time. And 20 years later, I still to this day I have a sizable handful of people want that tape. Not a single soul asks for Tribal Moans.
It's amazing. I think that we printed like 500 copies of that thing. And I mean, it's terrible.
It's a terrible record. It's got some merits.
Yeah.
But you can put your coffee cup on it.
Tim was joking with me earlier. He doesn't even know this stuff that's on Tribal Moans.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Oh, why don't you play a song for Susan?" And I think that when we made that, I was 20, and I was just joking with Tim, like, yeah. I'd really lived and loved a lot at 20. like these songs about like heartbreak and
very hard times.
Whatever. I mean, just total garbage.
If you look at the back of it, you want to talk about how young you were.
Yeah.
Those are the kids right there.
Those pictures are taken in the press room and stuff like that. So that is just kind of. There used to be, what was it, Wally's?
The Old Bridge Cafe.
The Old Bridge Cafe. Past,
where Agave is now.
Right. It used to be Wally's.
Used to be a biker,
I don't know if it was Wally's after that.
Used to be a biker bar, and we wound up playing in there, and we had no business being there. I mean, we were just total wuss rock, and like these guys were like yelling at us to play.
The guy who ran the joint was named Gator. If that puts
so Gator told us that we would sound better if we took half the drum kit and shoved it up the drummer's. He literally actually said
that. They get that a lot.
What do you think? You guys sound a whole lot. Anyway. So we were there one night, and we were wearing sandals. This is all part of our education into rock, and like people are like, play some Bob Seger, and we were wearing sandals. It was really horrible to think about it now. We're at the bar between sets, and there's this guy who's like threatening to stomp on our feet because we were wearing sandals. Which
rightly so.
Yeah. Anyhow, there's another guy at the bar who started telling us about this musical experience he was having, in which somebody was experiencing deep tribal moans.
Oh yeah.
And so, in our great wisdom, we said,
you took that experience and made something out of it.
Not only that, but that was the moment. When that tape came out, we were called Zuzu's Pedals.
Right.
And Kevin Geyer threatened that he wouldn't sell our tape anymore if we didn't change our name, because there were other bands named Zuzu's Pedals. So not only was that Tribal Moans, but that was the debut Say Zuzu record.
It was like a series of bad
It was all bad.
You brought up the name change again. That was the second time you brought it up. Cliff refused to talk about it before. So
here's the short version. It's not even good.
Great.
Zuzu's Pedals. It's a reference to the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart's daughter is named Zuzu. She's called Zuzu in the movie. Okay. Don't interrupt me, Shawn. I'm going to give it to you as quick as I can.
It's really important stuff.
That's right. I don't want any secondary questions about this, Shawn. I'm going to give it to you once, and you're going to like it or not. So Jimmy Stewart has a daughter in the movie, Zuzu. She's named, it's a pet name after Zuzu ginger snaps, which Nabisco made. Their ad slogan was, say Zuzu to the grocer man, because in the days when Mom used to call the grocer and they'd bring your groceries to you, don't we wish those days were back again? So Cliff happened to have a box with Say Zuzu to the grocer man on it, and that was the name of our first tape.
It was like a vintage crate that said this on it.
And so when we had to change our name, we were so petrified that the vast tens of
the people that
Zuzu's
knew
Pedal fans,
Zuzu.
we had to keep that. It's important in our following. So like, it's not like our aunts and uncles and parents couldn't have found us if we had changed it to something else.
Right.
So I don't know. I think the other ones in consideration were things like COD and stuff like that. Some bad names.
Yeah, Hot Hose.
Hot Hose.
Hot hose. That would have been a whole different career. Your career would have gone different places. I guarantee.
The Cohogs. I kind of like that one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, series of
say
bad
Zuzu,
decisions.
was it?
Hence Tribal Moans. I think.
By the time we realized, is that a fan calling to like ask us to elaborate on
Please
it?
stop.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's your aunt, as you said.
Yeah. Well. So.
No,
there you have
okay.
it.
I remember that back years ago, the rumor going around was that you were being sued by It's a Wonderful
That's right.
Life.
That's right. That's actually what happened.
So
I love
that's
that
the
there-
reason
I
that it
love
had
that
to
there
change.
was a rumor.
Yeah.
You know, I one of my favorite things about the name is that about Say Zuzu as a name is
So
that,
we don't have to use that anymore?
No, that I guess that Zuzus are prison slang for snacks.
Is that right?
Yep.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. You know, I've
Well, there you
learned
go.
that
We've learned
since
something.
I
Here.
wrote
So the
that.
Stay
Yeah,
Tuned
that's
radio
right.
show.
We wondered why we broke up and Cliff doesn't seem to be around very much anymore. And spent
Right.
some time at the Brentwood
Baltimore.
Estates.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I can't. One thing I do want to ask, and this is a little off topic before we go
You
to
wanna
our
talk about
last
politics?
Well, I know I wanted to talk about John. You put a great album out a while ago, When the
man.
Summers Lasted Long,
He's beat me up.
and it was
great
one of those
records.
things.
Speaking of
I mean,
bad records.
John mentioned that I beat you up one other time on the radio, which I didn't mean.
It's
to,
all right.
but,
No, it's okay. Beat
but-
away, man.
But
Smack me around.
if I don't consider it beating you up, but every time I play something off that album, I plea to you. If I said, John, if you're out there listening, we need a new album.
Well, I've had one like 90% done for a year.
Okay, it's not good enough, man.
I mean, yeah.
Great too.
Okay,
Is it-
look, I don't.
It does exist.
I don't want to spoil the surprise. Basically, he pulled this reunion gig together so that
Okay.
we could come in and fix all the tracks.
Nice. Okay. Well, good.
I'm kidding.
So,
That's
so we're
a joke.
moving forward.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's one of those.
sore spot with him. So
No, hey, it's he's like Jay
Is
Boyce
it, a,
of.
is it a sore sport, really? I mean,
I'm sorry.
is it a sore sport?
No.
spot?
I mean that good naturedly. His guitar player in the paper cuts is good naturedly like belligerent about it. He's like, "Where's your record? Stop on Facebook. Get off there and finish your record." And,
I tend to agree with him. Yeah, I'm
it's
with
a-
that.
he loves you.
No, absolutely.
Only because he
I
wants to
and I
do
appreciate it. Keep harassing me. Frankly, it's the only thing that's going to help me get it done.
In fact, I think everyone should start chanting that at some point when you're down there at the 3S Art Space tonight. If harass
Man, see,
John.
the only problem with that is like if it stinks. People be like, "Well, that was a waste of time."
You're gonna do the
Tens
Axl
of
Rose
fans.
thing. The pressure.
Oh,
man.
so that's what it is. It's insecurity that has kept
Yeah,
John Nolan
that's what
from
it is.
making
Actually,
a
that
second
reminds me,
solo
that reminds
album.
me of a great song on Tribal Moans.
Oh man.
Insecurity in the way I look. Insecurity
Oh,
in the way I talk.
Shawn, this is the problem with having history with people. Is just let me bring you a little back. For anybody out there who knew Cliff in high school, this might freak you out a little bit. Might feel like he's actually here, but this is what Cliff sounded like in high school. In fact, we had this tape of us playing at Newmarket High School, and Cliff was like, "This is a '60s classic. This is Wild Thing by the Trogs." I don't know if there's something wrong with his sinus cavities at that point.
Yeah, I had a disease called Popeye-itis.
Have we successfully wasted like all the good
Yeah,
time?
we wasted
Is there
a lot of-
anybody listening anymore? I'm sorry about that.
yeah. Okay. Well, it is. It's
yeah,
15 minutes before the
That's what it
hour of
was
4
like to be
o'clock.
around these guys.
At 4 o'clock or 4-ish, I have to apologize to Liz Frame. It'll be right around 4. I have Liz Frame and the Kickers joining me for our last hour here on Stay Tuned. But this past hour has been Say Zuzu, and I can't thank you guys enough for coming
Of course.
in. It was fun, and it is going to be fun tonight down at the 3S Art Space. These guys have reunited to take the stage once again, and it's going to be a
He's
blast.
so good.
There we go. Let's go into that song, guys, please.
Yeah. No. Well, no. Yeah.
All right, so what do we want to do for our last song? And-
Well, appropriately enough, probably wasting time. I think
That's
is gonna
right.
be our
Wasting
last
time. Come on out and see us tonight, people.
Yeah, please do. It's a great cause, and it's a great band. So
I'm
please
sure
do.
that we'll play again sometime, but we truly have no idea when.
Right.
So come see us again.
This is it, one and only time.
This is it.
Well, I pray thee perfect clay jar. Fill it with the love in your heart and leave it for me to drink all night, like getting drunk on wine. I need some promises, but darling, your good intentions will do just fine. Just take it easy on me. Am I wasted my good love on you? It's hard enough being where I've been, and it leaves me sitting in a chair to stew. Am I wasting time on wasted love again? Go ahead and make it up. I started from where you left off. 'Cause I think that I'll be buying this one if you can't sell it to me. Because it's easier explaining it to myself than it is to the looking glass. And babe, I've all but given up. Just take it easy on me, yeah, yeah. Am I wasted my good love on you? It's hard enough being where I've been, and it leaves me sitting in a chair to stew. Am I wasting time on wasted love again? On and on it goes, breathing like a bellows on the fire that's only smoke. Sitting on an old gray bench, withered from the snow and the rain, withered like my heart from pain. I set up like a shot, 'cause I'm leaving, yeah. For heaven I wasted enough good love on you. It's hard enough being where I've been, but I ain't sitting this damn chair no more. Haven't I wasted time on wasted love again? I ain't wasted time on wasted love again. No more wasted time on wasted love again.
Very nice.
Hey.
Say Zuzu live in the WSCA studios. I want to thank you guys for coming in again. Appreciate it. Seriously.
Our pleasure, man.
I hope you have a wonderful show tonight. Hope everyone has a wonderful show. I encourage anyone out there, if you want to see these guys live, and as John said a little while ago, they have no idea when they're going to get back together.
That's right. Or if ever.
or
Come
ever.
tonight.
That's right. This is it. The only time. Yeah, 3S Art Space. That's at Vaughan Street. Should mention where it's at, and we want to take our hats off to the guys in the band for reuniting to bring awareness to what they're doing down there, and they are doing some really cool stuff.
Thanks for having us, Shawn.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
seriously.
thanks. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the name of that song was called "Wasting Time," and it was off the album Bull.
These are all on iTunes, by the way.
All on iTunes. There you
I just
go.
want to make that
Well,
clear.
Tribal Moans is not on
Tribal-
iTunes.
Nor will it ever
I
be.
am making
no,
copies of
never.
Tribal Moans,
So,
Yeah,
but
man.
obviously no one wants the copy. So I'm gonna go back to the live album. I think just to end the show, and I got to thank everyone at home for tuning in and for
Thanks, people.
listening and watching. If you're out there on television, I want to thank you for tuning in and supporting us. I also want to thank Deb Berry for being my camera videographer today. She was awesome. Name of this song is called "Take These Turns." It's off of the live album.
Lives.
It's off. I was just gonna say that. Say Zuzu lives. Thanks again,
The
guys.
Lives album.
That was awesome, guys. Holy crap.